welcome back, class 8. Today we will continue with the second chapter, that is reproduction in plants and animals, part 2. We had already studied in the previous class about the type of vegetative propagation. There are mainly two types of vegetative propagation. One which is done by itself, that is by the nature, it is called natural vegetative propagation. Like when the plants can grow naturally from roots, stems, leaves, it is called natural vegetative propagation. And if the propagation is done, propagation means we can grow a new plant with the help of man, like we ourselves are involved. Such method is called artificial vegetative propagation. So artificial vegetative propagation means the growth of new plants, from vegetative parts by man. This one is required because man is the one, like we are the one who are helping the new plants to grow from the old one. Now what are the different types of artificial vegetative propagation? Artificial vegetative propagation, three types. They are called conventional. Conventional means the traditional method. Three types, traditional methods, which has been used till now. Traditional means the old methods of artificial vegetative propagation. Now what are they? Number one, I will mark it as A. It is cutting. Number B, layering. And number C, grafting. So what are the three different types of traditional vegetative propagation method? Traditional means the one which is old one, previous one, or the ancient one. First one is cutting. I will just explain about them and write the examples of each one of them. What is cutting, you know? Like if it is asked to grow a new rose plant, the best method we can do is we can ask for the stem cutting of that rose plant. If you ask for the stem cutting, like in a step, cutting is the method in which we take the cutting of the part of the stem or any other part of the plant, particularly stem we take, and grow them in the soil. That cut part will develop roots and it will grow into a new plant. This method of growing of a new plant by stem cutting of the parent plant and growing them in the soil so that they can develop roots and grow into a new plant is called stem cutting. So where is this type of method found? Example you can write. Stem cutting is found in rose. It is found in sugarcane also. In sugarcane what we do? If we have to grow a new plant, we cut the sugarcane into many pieces and then each cut piece is grown into the soil. So once it comes in contact with the soil, they will develop the roots. And then the stem will be also growing along with the leaves and it will develop into a new plant. So that is called the cutting method. Is clear now? Okay. Now next one is layering. Layering is also a method, traditional method of vegetative propagation. Particularly it is done in some plants whose stem is very thin and flexible. Like if a plant is growing, example also you can write, plants like jasmine, name of a flower. So example, jasmine. How to grow a new plant, jasmine plant? By the process of layering. So what is layering? Like suppose this is the plant, jasmine plant. One of the stem is there growing straight. One stem is growing downward. Okay? The lower stem which grow downward will make them touch the soil or will put them inside the soil. Now once it comes in contact with the soil, this stem, because the stem is flexible, so we can bend them and put them in the soil. This is the soil. It will develop roots from that part of the stem. such roots are called adventitious roots. What is the meaning of adventitious roots? Roots which develop from the stem is called adventitious roots. So once the roots are developed and then the leaves are also there, we can cut it from here and it will grow into a separate plant, into a new plant. Okay? So this method of growing a new plant by bending of a stem so that it touches the soil and develops the root is called layering. Okay? Now next we have grafting. Now what is grafting? Grafting is a method of vegetative propagation in which we have to take two plants. One is called stalk, like the plant with the root, that is known as stalk. Suppose this is the plant with the root, it is called stalk. And the stem which we take without roots, that is called scion, S-C-I-O-N. So what is stalk and scion? Both of them are name given to the two parts of the same, different plant of the same species, like one mango stalk or guava I have taken. So one of the stem has the roots in it, that is called stalk. The another guava stem without roots, it is called scion. And now what we do is, we place them together here. We will bring this one here and put it here now and join them with the help of. Now once we bring both the broken parts together, they will join with each other and develop into, like the tissues will also join, the cells will join to each other. And characters of both the plants will be combined, and then they will develop the roots, they will develop the stem, they will develop the this one leaves. So we can cut that plant and then grow it as a hybrid plant, which have characters of both the plants. So this method of growing of a new plant by joining the stems of two different plants of the same species, not different species. That is, we have to take stems of the stalk and the scion. Both of them should belong to the same plant only. Like if guava, then guava plant only. We cannot take the guava plant stem and join it on the mango plant stem. That's not possible. Okay? It will not help to develop into a new plant. So this method of growing is called grafting. And this is quite useful because we can get new varieties of mangoes, we can get new varieties of fruits by this method of vegetative propagation. It is very easy to grow, it is cheap also as compared to growing them from the seeds. So now next we have, these all are the traditional methods of vegetative propagation. There is a modern method of vegetative propagation which I will discuss now. That modern method of vegetative propagation is also called tissue culture method. What is it called? Tissue culture or micro propagation. Micro propagation. It is important to learn about it. What is tissue culture or micro propagation? There are certain steps which we follow. First I will try to make you understand and then I will say. Tissue culture is an artificial method of vegetative propagation in which, like if this is a plant, okay, I will try to draw it short. These are the roots of the plant. This is the leaf. So we take some cells, step 1, this is step number 1. We take some cells from the growing tips of the plant, like from the meristematic cells we take. Some cells are taken which is known as explant, E-X-E-L-A-N-T, explant. We take some cells. Now what we do to these cells, step number 2, we put them inside a nutrient medium, like nutrients are there, these cells are kept here, so that they are kept in the nutrient medium. In step number 2, we keep the cells which is obtained from the growing parts of the plant into a nutrient medium so that the cells can differentiate, they can grow, increase in number. Then third step, the cells will increase in number and it will form a mass of cells, like many cells will be there. This is called callus, C-A-L-L-U-S. A mass of undifferentiated cells is called callus. So what is callus? a mass or a group of undifferentiated cells. From where they are produced? They are produced by the division of the cell which was obtained from the growing tips of the plants or growing parts of the plant, which was kept in a nutrient medium. Because they got the food, now they started division. Like generally all the cells divide, living cells. So this is also living cell, it also undergo division, it will increase in number and it will form a mass or a group of cells that is called callus. Now next step, 1, 2, 3, fourth step. This callus, they will start developing baby plants, like they will develop into baby plants, which are called plantlets. So plantlets means baby plants will develop. Many baby plants will be there. Okay. So we have to take these baby plantlets outside and grow them into the soil. That is the fifth step, that we can put them, these plants, into the soil, and these plants will now develop, they will grow into a new plant. So that is the last step, that is number 5. The plantlets are grown in the soil, like what we do to the normal plants. We put them in the soil, they will keep on increasing in size, their root system will develop further, their shoot system will also develop, and they will grow like the parent plants. So in this way, in 5 steps, the tissue culture or micropropagation is completed. So once again, what is tissue culture? It is artificial method of vegetative propagation. It is done by man only, but it needs some scientific knowledge or expertise. We need to do it in a lab. It cannot be done in the general conditions. Like this nutrient medium, we have to provide in the lab. This test tube as it is shown. So test tube is a part of the lab only. It cannot be done in the fields. But this method is quite useful because in a very short time, we can grow plenty of plants by this method. Not only that, those plants who fail to produce seeds can also be grown by micropropagation or tissue culture method. So it can be used by the plant breeders, means those scientists or those farmers who are engaged in increasing the variety of plants. They can use this technique to grow new plants or disease-free plants. That is the best one. Like plants without disease can be grown by this method. So what is that method? Micropropagation. Okay. So now next we will study about advantages and disadvantages of vegetative propagation. Okay, then next topic which we have to do, class 8, that is advantages and disadvantages of propagation, vegetative propagation. So first, what is the advantages or the benefits of vegetative propagation? I will say point wise. Number 1, it is easier, cheaper and quicker method of propagation as compared to that of the seeds. Like if you grow the plants from the seeds, it will take a longer time, it will be more costly because you have to buy the seeds, and it will not be so fast, not to be so easy as it is done with the help of vegetative propagation. So easier, cheaper, quicker method of propagation as compared to seeds. Then number 2, flowers or the plants which are produced by vegetative propagation, they are of superior quality. So flowers are of superior quality. Flowers are of superior means better quality. Then next, it is used, like vegetative propagation is used to preserve the characters of the parent plant. So it is used to preserve the parental characters. Used to preserve the parental characters. Because the newly plants or the new plants are grown from the same parent plant by stem cutting, by layering or by grafting. So the parent characters is preserved by this method, and it is used to improve and is used by plant breeders, means those persons who are breeding plant to improve the quality, to improve quality or to get the desired varieties, of plants. So whatever plant variety you want or whatever is desired, it can be grown by this method of vegetative propagation. Okay, so it is easier, it is cheaper, it is quicker, flowers are of superior quality, and it is used to preserve all the parental characters of the plant which was present in the parental generation. And most of the plants which are used for decoration purpose, that is called ornamental plants. So ornamental what means? Decorative, the one which is used for decoration. Ornamental plants like geranium is grown by this method. Okay, now what are the disadvantages of vegetative propagation? These all we counted are the advantages of vegetative propagation. Geranium is there, some more ornamental plants are there which can be grown by this method. The plants like this one, rose, carnation also, rose plants. If you want to get the new and the better varieties, you have to do the grafting of that rose plant and you can get all the new varieties of rose plant. So rose also you can write, geranium also you can write, already geranium is there. Now next we have to study the disadvantages. All these are the benefits. Now what are the disadvantages of vegetative propagation? Disadvantages of vegetative propagation are, number one, it is, first I will write it, then I will explain one by one. Disadvantages of vegetative propagation. What are they? Okay, what are the disadvantages of vegetative propagation? Number one, if the parent plant is diseased or sick, that disease is transferred to the new generation also. So you can write disease of the parent plant is transferred to their young ones. That is, to the new plants it is transferred. Because if you are doing stem cutting of a rose plant and the rose plant is already sick, suffering from some disease, then such disease will get transmitted to the new generation also. So that is one of the demerit. Number two, new varieties of plants cannot be grown by this method. Okay, so new varieties of plants, cannot be grown, and they will lose their vigor. After few generations, the new generation, like if you keep on growing a plant continuously for many generations by vegetative propagation, they will lose their vigor. Vigor means strength. So they lose their vigor. Vigor means strength on in successive generations, not on, in successive generations. Means as you keep on continuing with the process of vegetative propagation, the newly produced younger ones will keep on losing their vigor or strength. Okay. Now the last one, as you know that seeds can be stored for a longer period of time, and whenever we need we can grow them into a new plant. But in case of vegetative propagation, the vegetative parts like root, stems, leaves, they cannot be stored for a long time. So that is the last point. Vegetative parts like roots, stems, leaves cannot be stored for a long time. Cannot be stored for a long time as compared to seeds. like seeds I can write here, like seeds, because they are attacked by bacteria and fungus. Because they are attacked by bacteria and fungus. Because bacteria and fungus can damage them. Okay. Now any more point left? If the parent plant is diseased, it is transferred. Unwanted characters cannot be eliminated. One more point you can write. If any character is there which is unwanted, which we do not need in the new generation, that cannot be removed by vegetative propagation. So unwanted characters cannot be removed. Unwanted characters cannot be removed by this method. Okay. So they are the disadvantages. Disease of the parent plant is transferred to their young ones. New varieties cannot be grown and they lose their vigor in successive generation due to continuous vegetative propagation. Vegetative parts like root systems, leaves, they cannot be stored for a long time like the seeds because they are attacked by bacteria and fungus. And the last one, unwanted characters cannot be removed. Now next we will study about the other methods of propagation in the plants, other organisms, plants and animals. What are the other methods of asexual reproduction, not vegetative propagation? So there are mainly three methods of asexual reproduction in other organisms. I will just say it briefly here. Other methods of asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, the next topic. In other organisms, not in plants, in other organisms. It can be animals. Okay, so there are three main methods. What are they? Number one is binary fission. Number two, budding. And third one is multiple fission. Multiple fission. I'll just explain each of them with the help of example. Let's do the first one, that is binary fission only. Binary means two. The word binary means two. Okay. So what is fission? Fission means to split. Fission means split. And binary means two. I have written here. And fission means to split. So this type of asexual reproduction is found in unicellular organisms like bacteria can reproduce by binary fission, in which one bacterial cell can divide into two equal bacterial cells. It happens during favorable conditions that organisms reproduce asexually by binary fission. Now one example I will give you. Amoeba is a single cell organism. It is the name of a protozoan. So this amoeba, with the help of diagram I am drawing, this is the nucleus, this is the body, and these are the pseudopodia. Pseudopodia means the finger-like process which are present on their body. That is called pseudopodia. And this is the cytoplasm. So whenever binary fission occurs, first of all this nucleus will divide into two. The next step you can see how the nucleus is dividing. Now see, there is a strengthening or elongation of the nucleus. Nuclear material becomes two. And finally the division of cytoplasm also occurs. So you can see ultimately that two amoebas are produced with two separate nucleus and cytoplasm. So this method of reproduction, in which first the nuclear division occurs, followed by division of cytoplasm, so that the parent cell divides into two daughter cells, is called binary fission. I am not writing, okay? Now next one is budding. Budding occurs in unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms also. I will give you an example of both of them. First one is yeast. We are talking about this one, budding, okay? What is bud? A small outgrowth. Bud means, bud is a small outgrowth on the surface of a parent organism. on the surface of a parent organism, it can be a plant or animal, that detaches, means separate from the parent and grow into an independent organism. Like this one is example you can see. What is this one? This is yeast. Yeast is a fungus, type of fungus. Now a small outgrowth will occur on this body. This is called bud. Now this bud will keep on increasing in size in the next step I am showing. Now see, the bud size is also increasing. And finally in the third step, this bud is separated from the parent and both of them are separate cells. Daughter cells are produced. Two daughter cells are formed. Means this is the parent cell and this one is the daughter cell. So how it appeared? First of all, the beginning was in the form of a small outgrowth, that is called bud. The bud kept on increasing in size by the division of cell, and it assumed, means it obtained all the characters of a parent cell, and finally it got separated from the parent cell to lead an independent life. Okay? So now next we have to study the last one, multiple fission. Multiple fission means, multiple you know, means many. And fission means here also same, splitting. This type of asexual reproduction, that is multiple fission, it is found in amoeba only. During unfavorable conditions, means when the conditions are not good, there is scarcity of food, water. At that time, the amoeba cell, like this is amoeba, it is surrounded by a hard protective covering. It is known as cyst, C-Y-S-T. Got it? So during unfavorable condition, because there is scarcity of food, water and all, so this amoeba will secrete a hard protective covering around it called cyst. Inside the cell, the nucleus will keep on dividing. So next step I am drawing here. See, plenty of nuclei will be formed. Nuclear divisions will keep on taking place. And each nucleus will be surrounded by a particular amount of cytoplasm. Understood? Cytoplasm will also surround them. And when favorable conditions will return, it will break and it will release all of them. That is, all the amoebas will be released outside. Protozoa, sorry, Plasmodium. I am talking about amoeba, no? It is this type of, by mistake I said amoeba, actually it occurs in Plasmodium, I have to say, Plasmodium. What is Plasmodium? It is the parasite, protozoan, which causes malaria. Understood now? So what is multiple fission? Multiple fission is a type of asexual reproduction in which a single cell will divide to produce plenty of cells. Like in case of Plasmodium, it is surrounded by a hard protective covering called cyst during unfavorable condition. Inside the cyst, the nucleus will keep on increasing by nuclear divisions, and each nucleus is surrounded by cytoplasm. And finally, when the favorable conditions return, it will burst, the cyst will break open and release all this Plasmodium into the atmosphere. Understood? This is the one which causes malaria. So today up to here only, and your homework will be to define, to write the advantages and disadvantages of vegetative propagation. First question. Second one, draw a diagram to show binary fission in amoeba or in bacteria also. So bacteria, how to draw? Like one bacterial cell you will draw first with the nucleus, then you will show the next step that the nucleus is dividing. Finally you will draw that two nuclei is produced, and then there is constriction of cytoplasm. At last, two separate bacterial cells are formed. So this is the diagram of binary fission in amoeba. You have to label also, this is the nucleus, this one is the cell wall. Okay? Then next question you can write, name the different types of asexual reproduction found in other organisms. Okay? So today up to here only, we'll continue in the next class. Thank you.